Now, the Gauteng Forensic Investigation report on allegations of corruption at driving licence and testing stations is being released today. The provincial government appointed a consulting team to lead the investigation last year. It was to probe alleged conflict of interest by officials, bribery, as well as manipulation of the booking system. Heidi Giokos is following the story and joins us now. Good morning, Heidi. It seems like it's a quiet start to the day. We're expecting the release perhaps anytime sooner.
Yes, indeed, Mfundo, we are expecting the release of this report at around 10 o'clock this morning, so about 10 minutes to go. The MEC for Transport in the province, Jacob Mamabolo, has not yet arrived, and the reason for this is because they're also part of other activities for the day, where they are making sure that grass is cut along the N1, and we do know that the MEC is very active when it comes to making sure that the city's clean, and when it comes to roads and infrastructure, he is at the forefront of making sure that happens. But I think the main business of the day is the release of this report. We do know that the MEC was alerted to possible corruption, bribery within the licence departments, and this is why he decided to appoint a team to further investigate. So the report is going to possibly highlight and show whether or not there was corruption, whether or not there was bribery, and to what extent. We have heard the MEC in previous briefings speaking about how serious bribery is because of that massive backlog, Mfundo, when people were unable to get slots to renew their driver's license, were unable to get slots to book either their learners or their driver's license tests, and it basically led them to bribing officials just to get a spot. So it's going to be crucial for the MEC to explain exactly what's happened, what's being done, and whether or not there is corruption, which he has previously alluded to the fact that there's a very high possibility of corruption and bribery, and what steps are going to be taken to make sure that that does not continue. So that's going to kick off at about 10 o'clock today, and we'll definitely bring you all those details regarding that report. But it's a massive problem. It still persists, and of course the MEC will try and explain to us what's going to be done to sort that out.
It's a very progressive move to have this investigation and now release the report, but it also highlights a problem that it's long overdue. Ordinary citizens have been complaining about this for years. It's a long-standing issue. So it almost speaks to officials who are disconnected from the issues on the ground, because even young teenagers know when it's time to get their learner's license that there's a lot of corruption. In the queues, you've got people that are already tapping your shoulder, asking if they can help you skip the queue or something of that nature.
Yes, exactly. That's some examples of what we have been seeing that's been happening at a number of driving license centres, where some of them had to even be closed because of the massive problems with regards to corruption, pushing lines, not making slots available. So as you just mentioned, the fact that this is a very progressive move, that there has been a team, forensic team, appointed to investigate further, but whether or not that's going to yield positive results on the ground is a matter of just waiting to see whether or not it's going to yield those positive results to make sure that this does not persist. You know, Mfundo, there was a time, I think it was actually during 2020, during the hard lockdown, where I attended a briefing with the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, where he spoke about these body cameras that would be put on JMPD officers and officials to avoid this kind of thing from happening, to avoid bribery from happening, because we know it's a very big problem. And we know that there are other issues that body cameras can help with. But to date, we haven't really seen the results of that. And that was, what, almost 2 years ago. So it's all good and well to have these reports, to have these teams implemented, and to say, yes, we have a corruption and bribery problem, which we all know we do have a corruption and bribery problem when it comes to this kind of work. But what is being done to eliminate this and to make sure that it does not persist? So we'll definitely be asking the MEC about concrete plans moving forward, because if you walk into any driving license test now, I can tell you, you'll find somebody that you'll be able to bribe, an official that works inside, just so that you can get an earlier slot, or a slot at a specific driving license centre, or a slot that's more available sooner. So it's a big problem, and we'll just have to wait and see what the MEC says at about 10 o'clock this morning.
All right, Heidi, we'll catch up with you then when the MEC does in fact release that report.